What up, reader fam? Welcome back to my channel. We're back to reacting to bookish memes. I don't think I could ever get tired of reacting to bookish memes. They're relatable, they attack me, and they make me feel less alone. I will say that Pinterest needs some new bookish memes because a lot of them feel straight out of 2014. I'm gonna leave my Pinterest board with all the memes that I go over today down below in the description if you want to follow me on Pinterest. Let's be besties. But before we get to the video, today's video has a sponsor, as if you couldn't tell that it was being sponsored by good old Book of the Month. If you don't know anything about Book of the Month, then let me fill you in. They're a book box subscription service, and they support new and upcoming authors, providing a great way to get new and early releases. Each month they give us a variety of genres to spice up our bookshelves, and they provide you with the option to skip a month and you won't be charged in case there's a title that doesn't interest you that month. You can get your first book box for $9.99 using the code Jesse. Book of the Month is a great way to make sure that you're keeping your book collection fresh by adding in an array of new genres and new authors. I know how some of us can get comfortable reading the same author over and over and over again, or the same genre over and over and over again, but this is a great service to make sure that you're keeping things fresh. Let's go over the September selections. First up, the love hypothesis. A fake dating situation throws these two scientists into an irresistible force of love. Steamy, steamy. Next, Beautiful Country. A memoir about the author's life moving from China to America and the huge shift that they encounter. I've been really wanting to get more into memoirs, so this one sounds right up my alley. Next, The Neighbor's Secret. A book club that is targeted with threats and violence. They must do everything that they can to protect their families and their neighborhood. I am intrigued, let me tell you. A thriller with the book club element? Let's go! Next, The Sweetest Remedy. We follow a woman who travels to Nigeria to go to her father's funeral, whom she's never met. And through the process, she begins to learn more about herself in meeting her family and also falling in love. We love a self-discovery book. And lastly, what could it be? What could it be? Ooh! Rock, paper, scissors. A couple struggling with their marriage wins a weekend getaway to Scotland, or did they win a weekend getaway? Or is it just a chance for one of them to get rid of the other one? Ha 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 ho! Hot diggity dang, I need to know. Those are the September selections. Again, I will leave more information on Book of the Month down below in the description, and you can use the code Jesse to get $9.99 on your first book box. And now it's time to get to reacting. Let's react to some memes. First up, oh look, I found a picture of all my favorite characters. It's the way this meme has so much truth to it. I could honestly fill up a graveyard with some of my favorite fictional characters who have died, dead, gone. The ones who never reached their happy ending. The ones who were brutally yeeted into their next life by the hands of the author, even though the authors betray me time and time again. Guess who keeps coming back to their books time and time again? It's me! You'd think I'd learned my lesson, that I should stop trusting these authors, stop letting myself get invested in these characters that I know are just gonna die, stop letting myself get invested in these characters that are made up, because I know where their fate lies, that being death. But no, lessons have not been learned. Mistakes only continue to be made. Stop trusting authors, Jesse. Better bookshelves. Let's see here. We've got a childproof one, aquatic, polyhedral, secret, homemade, impossible, Babylonian, Tetris. The childproof one looks dangerous. I mean, I know it's to keep the books from being destroyed by the toddlers, but they're also climbing these like stick-like poles that are holding the bookshelves up, and I'm just waiting for the bookshelf to collapse on them and kill them. The impossible one tripped me out for a second. At first I was like, what is impossible about it? It ain't no impossible burger, but it's an optical illusion. Someone should try to replicate that IRL. I feel like the one that I would end up having to deal with here is the homemade one. I've always dreamed of having my own custom bookshelves, but without a doubt, I'd 100% have to have somebody else build them for me. I would not be able to do them myself. No, 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 no. Y'all know how I do in the arts and crafts department. You know there's no way I could do anything in the handyman department either. All I'm really good at is reading. I can do that. That's my one skill in life. Mine would definitely end up looking like the slanted mess about to fall over and hurt somebody. Person, do you know any good books? Me. Are you ready for this conversation? I feel like I've reacted to this one before, but let's react again. Again. This, though the reason it's opening a can of worms for me isn't because I instantly know the answer to their question and I'm just like reeling off all these different book titles. The reason it might literally take hours to have this kind of conversation is because I want to make sure that I'm giving them a very specific recommendation, something that I know they will love. I have to know what they're into, what genres they love, what tropes they love. I eat up all that information, go through the library of books in my brain memory storage, and spit out a book recommendation at them. And that process can be time consuming. Like, I feel sorry for them, but if you're gonna ask that question, you gotta be ready for it. Mind you, this all comes after I've recommended all my favorite books, because that's priority. Like, first I'm gonna be like, yeah, you gotta read this and this and this, because I love them, they're my all-time favorite books, they're what keeps me going in life. And then I'm like, okay, let's open this investigation, tell me everything. Some potential bookmarks. We've got post-it notes, balloons, grocery list, bonsai tree, El Gato, feather, another book, sheer memorization, yourself. Balloons. Not so realistic. Actually, wait, that would be kind of funny if you had like a birthday party, like a bookish birthday party, and you just had like a bunch of balloons balloons in the room that just had books attached to them and were like floating around the room. And then when the guests leave, they can pick out a book to take home with them. That would be a good idea. I like that idea. But as a bookmark, nope. I mean, I guess it's okay as long as it's like inside. Obviously, it would be risky business to do that outside because there's that obvious chance of it just like floating away. Float away, book. Float away. I mean, if that were to happen, I feel like that's fate's way of saying don't read the book. It's gonna be bad. I've used a grocery list before and then I got to the grocery store and I was like, wait, where's my list at? At home in my book like the smarty two shoes I am. I've done the sheer memorization bookmark, which for somebody who doesn't have the best memory, that doesn't always work out for me. I've used another book before, that way the book didn't feel lonely when I left it. It's just a little book hug situation. And I have also used myself as a bookmark. Specifically, this is like when I'm reading and somebody comes up and interrupts me and I'm like, okay, hang on a second, let me just put the book here and let me talk to you. Yep, you interrupted me. Are you happy? You better be happy. Now what do you need from me? When you're reading a book and you get to the part where the title makes sense, I'm offended that they used an actual photo of me for this. Like, somebody spot the difference. You can't because it's me. I do in fact love when this happens in a book. It's one of those things that just like makes you feel like you're in an exclusive club because people who haven't read the book don't know how the title interlocks within the story. Whereas if you've read the book, you're in the club. You're at the cool table. You're an insider. You got the tea, baby. Cheers. How I clean my bookshelves. 1% cleaning and dusting. 29% attempting to make everything fit. 70% reading, flicking through old books. This is actually me when organizing or cleaning my bookshelves. It's like realistically, it wouldn't take that long to do the dang thing, but because of the fact that every book I pick up, I feel the need to flick through or think about my thoughts on it or reminisce about the time I was reading it, it takes freaking hours. Hours that I could be using for actual freaking reading. Typically when I organize or I clean anything these days though, I pop in an audiobook because it makes me focus on the audiobook and I feel less of a need to pick up the books and like flick through them instead of getting distracted by every book ever. Audiobooks are magic, honestly. Bless them for coming into my life and helping me focus. Single, married, in a relationship. It's complicated. Books. I mean, out of all of these at the moment, I prefer books. I'm not even embarrassed to say that. It is what it is, fam. Relationships are too complicated. And sure, books can be complicated too, but at least when you get mad at it, you can set it aside for a bit and come back to it later. Whereas real life relationships, you've actually got to communicate and work through things and you can't really avoid it. I mean, you can, but it's not good to do that. Don't do that. But I'm also not your therapist, so I'm not going to tell you what to do. I don't want my favorite fictional characters to be real. I want to be in their fictional world with them. I'd say it depends on the book because I feel like a lot of these fantastical worlds that I read about, like sure, they're fun, but they're also facing battles left and right, risking their lives, nearly dying every 5 pages, and the chance of me surviving any of that are 0 to none. Unless I land in the world and I end up being the chosen one and find out that I'm filled with magical abilities, otherwise I'm screwed. I don't even want to be the chosen one though. That is way too much pressure. I will give a hardcore pass on that. I can barely take care of myself, so how do you expect me to be the chosen one taking care of all these other people? Bye! Symptoms of a book hangover. Inability to leave the fetal position, feeling hollow and empty, sweating, crying in minimal to excessive quantities, anger, repeated calling out of characters' names. I'm just imagining like somebody seeing this process going down and thinking something really terrible has happened, only to find out this was all caused by a book. Like, do you know how uncomfortable it is to explain to somebody that like everything that just went down, this like temper tantrum that I just threw, all was because of a book? That is embarrassing. It's not fun having to explain to somebody that yes, books can come into your life and completely knock the wind out of you and have you in an emotional state for weeks on end. If you're a passionate reader, you'd understand. Passionate and dramatic. If only books were printed with glow-in-the-dark ink, life would be so much easier. Would that be easier though? I don't feel like it would be easy to read glow-in-the-dark ink. Like, it's making my eyes hurt thinking about it. I think that would make my eyes hurt a lot more than just like reading at night with a flashlight. I'd rather use a flashlight. Not that I need to use a flashlight, because when you're an adult, you don't have to sneakily read books under the covers. You get to leave the light on as long as you want. And then there are the times when you wake up with all the lights on, a book resting on your chest, and you realize that at some point in the reading process through the night, you conked on out of there. Why yes, my bed truly is where the magic happens. Booktrovert, a person who prefers the company of fictional characters to real people. Yes, this. I'll also add in the fact that I can take the company of other readers, because I'm down to talk books any day of the week. When I hear someone say they're going to the bookstore, I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm coming. Okay, but typically I'm the one saying I'm going to the bookstore. There's not many other people in my life who I'd hear say I'm going to the bookstore. I also don't ever really announce that I'm going to the bookstore because I like to be left alone with the books. Not only that, but I tend to spend hours on end at the bookstore. And I know that not everybody's got time for that when God created me. And a bit of a social life? No, this one will be addicted to books, will fall in love with fictional characters, and cry for the death of someone who doesn't even exist. I mean, I can't even be mad at God. I wouldn't want my life to be any other way. I just truly wonder if he understood the monster he was creating when he created me. Like, did he know this is where I'd end up? Now that's what I want to know. Walking around a bookstore with no money. I'll come back for you. Listen, if I have no money, I go to the library, because at least I know I can get something and take it home for a little while. The only time I ever go to a bookstore is if I know 110% that I can buy a book, because otherwise I'll just be sad, even though I'm in a place that's surrounded by the happiest objects in the world. books. An author's favorite word, murder. Yes, and I'd like for them to stop having it as their favorite word. Can you give our hearts a break, please? Can your new favorite word be happy? That'd be great, thanks. People sit around on their phones, but when I pull out a book, I'm antisocial. Where's the lie, though? Even when people are on social media, like, they're not even being social half the time. They're lurking, they're double tapping. But are they leaving comments, interacting? Hardly. So stop calling us readers antisocial and let us enjoy our dang books. When I read about fictional places, wish I could be a part of that world. It's true. Catch me out here trying to find a portal into my favorite book, so I can ditch this world and go on adventures with my faves. Friend, best friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, books. End, infinite. Points were made. I'm just gonna start spelling books with an infinite sign in the middle now. Because books are forever. You have too many books. Nobody asked you. These SpongeBob memes are becoming my favorite. I'm just gonna do this motion the next time somebody says that to me. Nobody asked you. Alright guys, those are all the memes that I'm gonna be reacting to today. I'm hoping that I can find more original or more with the times memes moving forward with this reacting to bookish memes series. But I still really enjoyed doing this today. You guys should let me know down below in the comments which meme you found to be the most relatable. I feel like the Book Travert one was pretty relatable to me. It did a pretty good job of encompassing my life. Again, thank you to Book of the Month for sponsoring this video. If you guys would go and check out the link down below in the description, I'd highly appreciate it, and you can use the code Jesse to get your first book box for only $9.99. If you like this video, be sure to go and hit that like button. If you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe or go and hit that bell icon and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your day is bright, that tomorrow is brighter. Keep reading what your heart desires, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, yo!